Welcome to Caseback Watches. My name is Tim, and in this episode I have the pleasure to show you very special prototypes. I have all the three colors of the brand new Timefactors Transglobal. And the prototypes are already in the lightbox waiting for you. Very exciting. I'm very happy that I have them. I asked, when I saw Eddie Platt's post on Facebook, I asked, please, Eddie, can I have one of those prototypes for a review? And then Eddie asked, why not take all three? And I said, and so the watches are here now, and now we could speak a little bit about the role model for those watches. People on Facebook and Instagram just said it. It's the Universal Genève Polrouter. And this is a pretty interesting choice because it's a very attractive watch, and second, although not super rare, the Polerouters from the 60s now are in very, very bad condition, to be honest. They weren't waterproof back then, and so humidity did its part there, so rust and corrosion and patina and all those nasty things. And so we can say that Timefactors is about to bring back the Polerouter from the 60s with modern components, and I think this is pretty exciting. But now let's speak a little bit about the original Polerouter so that we can compare a bit, okay? Little interruption here. I tried to find historic and high quality images of the Polerouters from the 50s and 60s, but this was very hard. Most images were under copyright. But then I found a wonderful website you see here, and this is universalgenevepolrouter.com. I leave a link in the description to this wonderful and great source. You have several galleries here, and as you can see, you can check out Franken watches, repainted dials, and legit watches. So if you are in the topic Polerouter, then you should visit this website, universalgenevepolrouter.com. Nowadays, the original Polerouter from the 60s is more seen as a dress watch, vintage dress watch. But this was back then very different, and now we are in the 50s. In the year 1955, a Swedish airline, the SAS, decided to establish a new route to North America. So Europe, North America, close to the pole region. And every time you bring a watch close to the pole, then you have problems with magnetic interferences. So the magnetic fields of the Earth can lower the timekeeping abilities of a watch. So SAS realized we have a problem here. We need a special watch with protection against those magnetic fields. And Universal Genève told them we're capable to do this. We have all the components, we have the knowledge, and we have a young designer named Gerald Genta working for them back then, 23 years old, who made the design. But the design was not so important, to be precise here. The function was important. The Polerouter was a tool watch. In 1954 then, they produced the watch under the name Polerouter. Polerouter, this was the first name, and they made it available for the public. And 1 year after that, 1955, they renamed the watch to Polerouter. And then it was very successful, and it was in production until 1969. And this explains why they are, although not super rare, you cannot find them in every corner, and yeah, as said, not in good condition. Okay, enough history here, and now let's go in the lightbox. Let's check out some watches. And so here we are. Unfortunately, a prototype comes with plastic and not with a fancy box. This is pretty normal. So we have our three samples here of three prototypes wrapped in plastic. And now let's begin with the first. I think we could start with the Tuxedo dial, so black and white. Measurements are all the same for every of these watches. Come out there, come out there, come on, come on. Don't make it so hard for me, my dear. And so there we are with our first Smiths Transglobal black dial. Let's go over the measurements first. A 38 millimeters is the case diameter, so the watch is slightly bigger than the normal Timefactors product, like the Speedbird with 36, slightly bigger. The length overall is 46.5. This is rather on the short side, and in my eyes a very good proportion. The lug width is 20 and the height is 12.5, so a rather slender watch. And we have an all steel case. Here you see the polished sides, the polished lugs. We have a sapphire on top. We have a screwed case back. There you are, there you can see focus please. There you can see the beautiful case back with a map, Smiths logo and Transglobal. We have a screw down crown. This is somewhat special. I will show you this in detail, of course. And you see that the overall design is very vintage inspired. So a very, very classy piece. You see those classic hands here, those indices, no numerals at all. Everything very subtle and very, very beautiful, I must say. This is a wonderful watch. Really nice case form here. Case back with really something to see on it, and so pretty amazing. And the most distinctive Polerouter element, if you ask me, is this outer ring here, and there you see those microstructure, those lines. I don't know the exact term for this, but I think you know what I mean when you see this here. And what I really adore here is the combination of gold, white and black. If you read this gold, white, black, then you think, I don't know if this is so beautiful. But when you see it here, then it's really nice. And all the wordings on the dial are very subtle too. You have the Smiths logo and you have the automatic here, and that's it. But we have to keep in mind that this is a prototype. All of those watches are prototypes, okay? This is important because sometimes they change something on it, some little details. And I also like the sector dial with this cross here, and yeah, it's absolutely a nice watch. And it has a screw down crown. This was a bit a surprise, and I don't know if they have already indicated the waterproofness, but I think with the screw down crown we're speaking here 100 meters. And it works absolutely fine. Miyota movement, automatic Miyota movement, provides hand winding, hacking seconds, and is pretty basic, but yeah, it's a good working movement. Does it have a ghost position? Let's check this. No, one position. Very nice. And it feels good. It feels substantial, not wobbly, and so yeah, very functional watch, and at the same time really a beauty. The strap, to be honest, I'm not sure if this is then the strap for the end product. This is a somewhat fake alligator strap leather. Feels okay with a butterfly clasp here. What I don't understand is why they have now those things, those holders here. Yeah, I will put it on the wrist and then you will see what I mean, but I will not overstress the strap. Let's focus here on the watch because, as said, I'm not sure if this is then the package for sale. And here you have the Salmon dial. A lot of people were very excited when they heard Salmon dial and they wanted to see it, and they asked me on Instagram to present it, and I showed this dial here on Instagram, and some people said, oh, it's pretty dull. And I'm afraid this was the image, this was the phone. Now we have very neutral light, and you can see that there's a sunburst effect on it, and it has some depth, and the color is changing, as you can see. So I wouldn't call this dull, to be honest. You can argue if this is more a terracotta or a salmon dial, but the problem always is, I have here a calibrated camera, and the camera catches the real color, but this doesn't mean that you see the real color on your monitor. Unfortunately, it's a bit more complicated than that. But I personally, I really like this color, and I'm not the super duper artist so determined when it comes to color that I could distinguish a bright terracotta from a dark salmon, to be honest. And for me, this thing here absolutely works. And again, together with the other elements, with the white and the silver hands, here we have silver hands, here you have seen golden hands, and so absolute beautiful combination. A bit more fresh. This is more classy, this is more vintage, and this is a really fresh look, but I absolutely like it. If I had to pick now between those watches, I think I would go a little bit in the direction of the Tuxedo dial here. And you see that the other ingredients are the same. So same case, same crown mechanism, screw down crown. There you are, and the case back is the same with the same map on it. One of the watches has the wording Worldmaster, by the way. This is, yeah, as said, prototypes. And here you have again this black type of fake alligator strap. The color works here absolutely fine. Normally I'm a fan of brown straps, but here, yeah, I agree. Black might be better for the Salmon dial. Here, brown would add another color and it could look absolutely gorgeous, I think. So let's go to the last of those three watches. Now we have the cream dial. Come out here, my beauty. Red strap, cream dial, and an amazing look, I must say. Amazing look. You have white and cream and gold together on the dial. The cross here is now very prominent because you have maximum of contrast. And this really looks young and fresh and not a second outdated or as a relic. See this? Classy and very vintagey, and this is just a contemporary good looking watch, I must say. Absolute stunner. And if this is the correct strap for the watch, I don't know, to be honest. I think it adds a funky look here and it works in a way, but I would change it, to be honest. And when I had to choose now my favorite watch here, I think I would... this is tough choice, but I think... Forgive me, but I'm not so in the direction Salmon dial. This might be a well-executed dial, but the look of this thing here and this is, yeah, it's a personal choice. Absolutely personal choice, of course, but if I could keep those watches, I would keep this and then this, I think. Okay, let's put the watches on the wrist now. And here we are with the first watch. There you can see I've chosen a relatively classy shirt, and you see 17 centimeter wrist, so rather small wrist, 38 millimeter case, and this works. This really works. Sit nicely on my wrist because it's a slender watch. I'm not sure if the watch is super versatile here. With this shirt it works, but it's a more formal watch. It would work way better even with a suit. But not necessarily, I think, with a t-shirt or a polo. But yeah, some people see this completely differently, and then, yeah, free world, right? Here comes the white dial, or the cream dial, let's say. I mean, very flashy with this bracelet here. And I think I would replace it. But you see, again, this watch really has some presence. Way more versatile, of course. I could imagine this watch pretty good with a polo and with the suit, with a summer suit, and yeah, beautiful, just beautiful thing. Salmon dial, yeah, spectacular. And I mean, it's so crazy that the Salmon dial works now with the blue of my shirt. It's crazy, isn't it? Because those colors are very different, and I could imagine this watch, yeah, with nearly everything. It's a nice one. Maybe I should reconsider my opinion here. And so, yeah, just beauty. Okay, keywords availability and price. Late September you should find the watches in the Timefactors shop, or early October. And the price will be around 295 British pounds. This may change a bit. And those pounds converts to 340 euros and 413 US dollars. But of course you have to keep in mind that you have to pay customs. The UK is not longer part of the European Union. So if you want to buy one watch from Europe, then it will set you back around 400 euros. Okay, welcome back. Thank you, Eddie Platt. Thank you very much for lending me those watches. This was really a pleasure to do and a pleasure to see here. And dear viewer, do you want to hear a crazy story about customs? Unpleasant story? I mean, there's this legend about YouTube watch reviewers. They can keep everything. They don't have to send watches back. They are filthy rich with that hobby. And the reality is quite different. Eddie sent me those three watches, declarations, samples for review and return. And then UPS showed up and collected 40 bucks customs. And I paid those customs. I mean, I wanted to have the parcel. And then I called UPS and told them, look, those are samples. There was a declaration, samples. I have to return those watches. And the lady told me, yeah, very interesting, but you have a YouTube channel. Timefactors is a company. So we assumed that this was an exchange of trade goods. And I said, no. Because it was a sample. We were three samples, I have to return them. I don't have a bill. I didn't pay any money. I did nothing. I just received the watch and I will send them back. But she absolutely refused to listen and insisted a bit, and then she explained how to get a refund. And the procedure was so complicated that I realized, Tim, just pay those 40 bucks. It's not worth it. And so the shipping cost alone for this video for both parties, Timefactors and Caseback Watches, is around 100 euros. And you can back this with a Google ad money for a normal video on a watch channel, 15 bucks, 20 bucks. And so you can see those relations here. And this rumor that reviewing watches on YouTube is a very lucrative hobby is pure bullshit. And then I was a bit in a shit mood, but I said to me, let's carry on. I switched on the Mac. I wanted to prepare the next video, and then this. Took the wallet, went to the Mac store here. You can walk by foot. And I thought, okay, half an hour and I have the next machine here. And I wanted the new M1, and they told me delivery time 6 weeks, sir. Have a nice day. This is a borrowed machine now and it's crap. But yeah, let's carry on here, right? So enough for one video. If you want to have your sneak previews, then please join me on Instagram. It's caseback_Tim. And now let me thank you very much for your attention, and until next time.